Hi, this is Alex Helmbrecht, the Sports Information Director at Chadron State College, and I'm sitting here this morning with Chadron State football head coach Bill O'Boyle. The Eagles got off onto a good start in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, earning a 15-7 win at Western State. It really was just a grinded-out affair, not much scoring, but Chadron State did do a nice job of keeping a hold of the ball for nearly 40 minutes in the contest. CSC jumped out to a fast 13-0 lead, so to speak, in the game. Western State kind of came back, scored a touchdown there in the fourth quarter, and then Chadron State put it away with a safety late in the fourth after a series of unfortunate events. CSC almost took it in for a touchdown. Coach, just beginning, obviously those who watch the game or listen to the game on the radio, it really was just how you and your staff would probably describe a game as a grinder.
Yeah, no doubt. You know, we did an excellent job offensively moving the ball 20-20, but for some reason we looked at our red zone yesterday and just the mistakes we're making assignment-wise, penalty-wise. Probably the biggest thing, Alex, bringing penalties up is how disappointing the number of penalties we've had this year. 10 on Saturday for 83 yards. So it's something we addressed as a team yesterday. Obviously, we have to get better, because it's really taking its toll on us as far as field position. So we've got to do some things there. Our defense played great. I was happy with our defense. I know Todd was disappointed that he didn't get a shutout, but the NED coordinator is, especially him. It's something that we'll learn a few things from it and go on.
Brandon Gorsuch was making his first career start at quarterback, and he finished the game completing 11 of 20 passes. But I thought he did a nice job of getting you in the right running game. Michael Madkins had 235 yards, 1 touchdown, and I believe Michael had at least 4 runs that went for over 20 yards. So Brandon did a nice job of managing the game for the injured John McClain.
Well, we changed up some things. We kind of took some things out of Brandon's hands. We called a lot more, which we normally don't do. And basically stayed with our run game that was called in the huddle. So Brandon did a nice job. He converted some great third down conversions that were long. Did an excellent job there. Going through his progression, he's going to get better every game. We understand that. And that's some things that this week we have to address, especially going into Adams.
And, of course, a big game from Michael Madkins, a sophomore from Elk Grove, California, 235 yards on 36 carries, averaging almost 7 yards a pop.
Should have had about 800 yards, after watching the film. He's, for his first start, he's just understanding what we want to do with him running the ball. And he was about 50-50 on assignments as far as the run game goes. So Michael knows that. We touched on that yesterday. We'll get better. We know we're going to get better. We're still young in a lot of areas. Those kids are going to get better, and Michael's got a ton of talent. He's a guy that can make people miss. He can run. He's a tiny guy, but that works in our advantage at some point. So he's got to learn how to run in between the tackles, which he's going to pick it up this week.
As I mentioned, unfortunately, the Eagles' starting quarterback for about the past year and a half, John McClain, is out for the rest of the season with an injury to his non-throwing hand. But the Eagles did receive some good fortune. Garrett Gilkey made his first start of the year at left tackle, and I thought he did a decent job of coming in there, especially playing at a high altitude like that and maybe not being in the shape that you'd like him to be at this point in the season.
Gilk's getting better. He thought he had to gain 1,000 pounds this summer. He ate himself silly. He's 6'7". I don't even know what he's at. I don't even ask him anymore. I'm hoping he's around 3 or under. But he knows our philosophy, especially mine. I don't care how big they are as long as they can move. And to be honest with you, he was a little out of shape going into our first game, before the appendectomy. So he's lost a few. He had a good game on Saturday. He had a good week of practice, and that's for all those offensive linemen, they know where I'm coming from on that. They better have a good week of practice because it shows on game day, and he did. He practiced extremely well, and we did a nice job up front. We made a few mistakes, but we're getting better.
One of the biggest things I took from the game, and not just because a few of my buddies are coaches at Western State, but that Mountaineer squad played a lot harder than teams that I've seen in the past out of that place. So I think Coach Baines there, Coach Case, Coach Imoni, and Coach McDonough are doing a nice job there, even though they haven't gotten the wins.
Yeah, and those guys are doing a great job. They're extremely well coached. Those 4 guys are guys that you never want to see leave Chadron State. But job-wise, moving up, taking their own positions, A lot of things come into play when you're a college coach, especially Division II level. You see a lot of movement. So yeah, I'm happy for those guys. Like I told their athletic director, Greg Wagner, after the game, it's probably the best Western team we've faced in the last 5-6 years. As far as playing hard, playing to the end of the game. And I know Jazz is beat up. I know they're missing a lot of kids. They lost 2 of their defensive linemen right before our game that we didn't know about. So I know they're going through some growing pains, but you can't find a better staff. Those guys are going to do a great job.
The Eagles are now 1-2 on the season, more importantly 1-0 in the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference. They'll look to keep that winning streak going this weekend when they welcome Adams State into town. The Grizzlies are 2-1 after this on the season, 0-1 in the RMAC after suffering really a tough 20-11 loss against Colorado State Pueblo. It was Adams State's, I believe, their home opener. They had a huge turnout. They just have a newly renovated press box and a facility there, so they had a nice turnout there. But Adams State had 6 drives of their 12 that went inside the Pueblo 40-yard line with no points. 3 interceptions, 1 fumble, 1 time it turned over on downs, and they did have 1 missed field goal. So I'm sure Adams State's going to enter this game hungry because they feel like they had some missed opportunities against a top 20 team like Pueblo.
Adams is always physical. They've played us well the last 5-6 years. It's always been a close game. Coach Heaton and his staff do a great job. They're going to be, and just like you said, Alex, I know they're disappointed. They blew some opportunities in the red zone, which they shouldn't have. And Pueblo's a ranked team. I think they'll be like 15 or 16 this week, NCAA-wise. So very good football team there. So Adams had their chances. It's our job this week to start getting better, just like we did last week, quit making the mistakes. So it's going to be a good game.
As you mentioned, the last few years, games with Adams State really have been nail-biters until the end. I can remember, I think it was 2007 or 2008, there was a close game at Adams State when I believe we were a top 10 team that we just eked out at the end with a field goal and then scored a late touchdown. The last time they played here in Chadron, it was 24-21. So Marty, who's in his 4th year, Coach Heaton there, does have his Grizzlies playing well.
Yeah, they play extremely well. They're a physical team. They run a 3-3. We haven't faced a 3-3 this year. A lot of pressure. They have an All-American linebacker who's, I think, probably one of the best, if not the best linebacker in the conference. Very good quarterback, a very good running back. So balanced as far as our offense goes, and a heavy pressure defense. So it's going to be a challenge for us. We've got to have a great week of practice. Like I told our kids yesterday, this is a step up, from where we've been. So we've got to really know our assignments this week and have a great week of practice.
Coach, just real fast, looking at the Rocky Mountain Athletic Conference, things appear to be almost wide open this season. New Mexico Highlands scored a touchdown with 5 seconds left at Colorado Mines to defeat Colorado Mines. The Mines was a top 20 team. I believe it was Highlands' first win over a ranked team in 15 years. And then Western New Mexico, a team that traditionally has kind of faltered and maybe not had the best of mentalities, they go through a bus getting burnt down and win at Fort Lewis. So, I mean, really, the RMAC seems to be wide open.
Yeah, there are no easy wins anymore. I look back, we were talking about it as a staff on the way home. You look back 5-10 years ago, you could always count on maybe 2 or 3 games where you could hopefully get a win, and not play your best. Now it's you've got to go out every Saturday and do everything right. And with the way Highlands is playing right now, especially the points they're scoring, Western New Mexico, Adam's done a great job there. I really don't know the guy at Highlands yet, but obviously he's done a phenomenal job this early, turning them around. And they've always got talent. That's something that both those teams always have great talented kids. They just haven't played together as a team, and now they are. Now they're believing in themselves. So that's stuff that's way down the line for us. But, again, I think the RMAC is a little bit more balanced than what it has been in the past.
Well, it should be a lot of fun for the Chadron State faithful, especially the next 2 weeks. Chadron State will host Adams State this Saturday. Of course, kickoff is at noon for that game. And then the following week is homecoming, the college celebrating its centennial, and Chadron State will host Colorado State Pueblo. That game is a 1:30 kick. So, Coach, it's going to be nice to be home the next couple of weeks, and best of luck to you.
That'd be great. Thanks, buddy.